My classmate Goldie was carefully putting a plastic baby into a stroller while I headed for the door. Hey, where do you think you're going? I don't remember signing a contract saying I have to report to you every day. This is our partner project. We're supposed to take care of the baby together. I don't owe anybody anything. I'm gonna get a bad grade because of you. Not my problem. Tennessee Coleman, you are the most heartless guy on the planet. Hi. Yeah, my name's Tennessee. Like the state. Either my parents had way too much imagination or absolutely none at all. I used to think getting attached to people was a trap. First you get used to having them around, then they leave, and all you can do is stare at the door like an idiot, hoping it'll open again. I was 5 when my dad left our family. He said he was tired, packed his stuff, and bailed. For a while, he still sent child support money. Honestly, that money kept us afloat. Mom barely made anything working at the laundry service. Then the payments stopped. Dad just disappeared. I don't even know if he's still alive. At 10 years old, my brother Jaden had to become the head of the family, and then things got way worse. One night, my brother and I woke up and saw Mom covering all the windows with black trash bags with this completely crazed look in her eyes. They're watching me! Then she grabbed a knife and locked herself inside the storage room. Later, she was diagnosed with stress-induced schizophrenia. Sometimes Mom acted normal. She made pancakes on Sundays, sang along to old songs on the radio, tickled me until I couldn't breathe from laughing. But other times, her condition got worse, and she became unpredictable. And that was terrifying. Jaden had to make sure she remembered to take her medication. He really did a lot for us. But when he turned 18, he left too. Said he was tired and wanted to live for himself for once. Deep down, I understood him, but it still felt like a betrayal. That's when I decided I didn't need anybody. Since then, everyone at school saw me as cold and detached. I didn't fight with anybody, but I didn't make friends either. It was like I'd already decided to lock myself away from the world behind a concrete wall. And now I wanted nothing to do with this stupid school project where I got paired up with Goldie, the best student in class, organized, responsible, and insanely annoying about it. After school, I headed to my part-time job at the laundry place. Mom got fired a year ago because of her health problems. Now, we survived off her disability checks and the little money I managed to make. By the time my shift ended, it was already getting dark. I got home and froze in front of the door. That was always the worst part of my day, because I never knew what kind of state Mom would be in when I walked inside. This time, I got lucky. Mom had just fallen asleep in the chair while knitting. I let out a quiet sigh of relief, took the needles out of her hands, covered her with a blanket, and went to bed too. It was around 2 a.m. when somebody knocked at the door. Our neighborhood isn't exactly safe, so I grabbed a bat and carefully opened it. There was a guy standing on the porch who looked like life had run him over a couple dozen times. I suddenly realized it was Jaden, but the craziest part was the baby sleeping in my brother's arms. Hey, Tennessee. What the? This is my son, and I need you to watch him for a few days. Are you insane? Listen. No, you listen. You disappeared for years. You didn't even ask about Mom, and now you show up in the middle of the night asking for a favor? I know, I screwed up, and I'll explain everything later, but there's nobody else I can trust with my son except you. When I come back, I'll bring money for you and Mom. I promise. He shoved the baby into my arms. A second later, a huge backpack landed against my chest too. Everything you need is in there. His name's Kevin. Then he just took off, and I was left standing there holding a baby, trying to figure out how my life had turned into this. I carried the baby inside, and of course, 2 seconds later, he woke up and started crying. Oh my god, who's this little cutie pie? Jaden's son. He asked me to watch him for a couple days. Mom smiled, and her eyes instantly filled with tears. I have a grandson. Tennessee, let me calm him down. I know how to handle babies. You sure? 10, I'm okay. I handed her the baby. The second Mom held Kevin against her chest, he stopped crying immediately. Well, hey there, little guy. I'm your grandma. I watched them for another few seconds. Then my usual defense mechanism kicked in. Whatever, I'm going to sleep. The next morning, I saw Mom feeding Kevin from a bottle. She'd even dragged our old toys and cradle down from the attic. Jaden and I used to sleep in that thing. Honestly, I hadn't seen Mom smile like that in years. And somehow that felt both nice and terrifying at the same time. Because in our house, good days never lasted long. The second I got to school, Mrs. Harper stopped me in the hallway. Tennessee, I know you're completely ignoring your part of the partner project. I noticed Goldie hiding around the corner and rolled my eyes. Yep, of course, she already ratted me out. Nah, that's not true, Mrs. Harper. I'm just making the project more realistic. Fathers abandon their kids all the time, so technically our project is the most accurate one here. Mrs. Harper mumbled something under her breath and walked away. Then Goldie came over, pushing that stupid toy baby in the stroller. I didn't know your dad abandoned your family. I'm sorry. Don't start pitying me, I hate that. After school, like always, I went to work, but when I got home, I heard a baby crying inside. I rushed into the living room and saw something horrifying. Mom was standing over Kevin's cradle with this completely empty look in her eyes, whispering over and over, "This isn't a real baby. They replaced him." I knew I had to stay calm, so I carefully sat Mom down in the armchair while I went to check her medication. Shoot, there are way more pills here than there should be. Mom hasn't taken her meds in days. I turned back toward the chair, but Mom was already gone. Then I heard the front door open and ran outside. Mom was hurrying down the sidewalk, looking around like someone was after her. I caught up to her and brought her back home. I needed to call an ambulance immediately. But before that, I hid Kevin in my room. I didn't want the paramedics asking questions. We'll monitor her condition and discharge her once she's stabilized. Thanks, Doc. Now I was alone with a screaming baby, and the longer it went on, the angrier I got at Jaden. He's not my responsibility. I took a couple steps away, but then my eyes landed on an old photo. My dad used to hold me like that once too, and then he just left. If I walked away right now, I'd turn into him. Then I looked at Kevin. He was completely helpless, and he needed me. All right, guess we're changing your diaper then. I didn't sleep at all that night. I fed Kevin, changed him, rocked him to sleep. By morning, he finally fell asleep. I was about to collapse on the couch and sleep for at least a couple hours myself, but then my alarm went off. Time for school. And that's when I did something I never would have done under normal circumstances. I called Goldie. We met at the park near the school. What kind of idiot trusted you with an actual baby? My brother. I told her the whole story and asked for help. I just need to survive one day. Tomorrow morning, Jaden's coming back for him. Goldie pulled the doll out of the stroller and shoved it into my hands. Then she told me to put Kevin into the stroller instead. So, what do I owe you for this? Nothing. You know, I kind of get the whole emotionally unavailable parents thing too. Mine are sending me to study abroad next year. They keep saying it's for my future, but I know the truth. I'm just getting in the way of their perfect life. At least you're honest about being detached. There was sadness in her eyes, even though she was trying to smile. We walked into school and nobody suspected anything. Everyone thought we were just working on our project. Mrs. Harper even praised me for once. Good job, Tennessee. Nice to see you finally taking this seriously. Then Kevin woke up. He started fussing and making little noises. Mrs. Harper frowned. I put batteries in the doll, so now it acts like a real baby. I almost lost it laughing, because only Goldie could say something that ridiculous with a completely innocent face. But somehow the teacher believed her. During breaks, we'd sneak off to the park across the street to feed Kevin and get him back to sleep. So overall, the day went surprisingly smoothly. If you still need help, I'm free tonight. Don't worry about it, I'll take a day off at work. All right then, good luck, Mr. Single Dad. Jaden didn't show up Saturday morning, or in the afternoon. That evening, I tried calling him, even though I wasn't even sure the number still belonged to him. Either way, his phone was off. A couple hours later, Goldie texted me, just a short message. Everything okay? I didn't even think about replying. Sunday came, still no Jaden. I was stressed out. Kevin kept crying non-stop. Then that evening, somebody knocked on the door. Jaden? Oh, it's you. Why didn't you answer yesterday? I was worried. Today, she was annoying me even more than usual. I wanted to throw out my usual not my problem, but the words got stuck in my throat. Then she noticed Kevin. Why hasn't your brother picked him up yet? Because Jaden was never planning to come back. I'm an idiot for believing him. Tennessee, then you need to call Child Protective Services. No! I'll find Jaden and make him take responsibility for his son. He's not getting away with this like our dad did. I'll help you, but if we can't find him, promise me we'll call CPS. I nodded grimly. The problem was, we had absolutely no idea where to even start looking for my brother. Kevin has a mother, doesn't he? Really, you think? And here I was thinking aliens just dropped him off. Oh, shut up. I'm saying maybe we should try finding her. Sure, let me just crack open my secret vault so we can hire a private investigator. You are impossible. Got any better ideas? Let's start with Jaden's old friends. Most people either didn't know anything or didn't want to talk. The days started blurring together into one giant mess of exhaustion. I kept skipping school. My job was falling apart too. Eventually, we tracked down one of Jaden's old friends, a guy named Rick. You know where my brother is? Oh, I'd like to find him myself. That idiot borrowed money from me and disappeared. Rick told us everything he knew. It turned out Jaden had been dating a girl named Lisa from a wealthy family. Obviously, her parents hated him. To them, Jaden was just some street trash. And when Lisa gave birth, they shipped her off to another city. They wanted to put Kevin up for adoption so he wouldn't become some stain on the family reputation. But Jaden ran off with the kid and took care of him himself. Problem was, he was terrified Lisa's parents would come after him. Then he borrowed money from me and disappeared. Goldie and I exchanged stunned looks. I was pretty sure we were thinking the exact same thing. If Jaden loved his son that much, then why did he dump him on me? 10, we've done everything we can. Kevin needs a real family, and you need to get back to school. I know that. Call the social services. It's the right thing to do. Stay out of it. Maybe deal with your own family first. The words came out before I could stop myself. I didn't mean to hurt her. I even thought about apologizing, but then Goldie glanced nervously at the time and gasped. Oh no, the charity gala! My parents and I are supposed to be there in 40 minutes. If I'm late, they're gonna lose it! She took a couple steps away, then turned back toward me. Tennessee, I'm serious. Think about what the right thing is here. As I got closer to the house, I noticed some guy shoving an envelope into our mailbox. A second later, I realized it was my brother. Hey, what the hell is wrong with you? I managed to make some money and brought it for you guys. I'm not talking about the money. You're acting just like Dad. You dumped your kid on a 15-year-old. Wait, what about Mom? She's in the hospital. Another breakdown. Jaden carefully picked Kevin up and held him close for a moment. Then he looked back at me guiltily. A few months ago, I started noticing symptoms that looked a lot like the early signs of schizophrenia. Panic attacks, paranoid thoughts. Sometimes I felt like people were watching me. Maybe it's just stress messing with my head. But if Mom's illness got passed down to me, then Kevin's not safe around me. Everything inside me went cold. I'd always known both of us were at risk. I just tried not to think about it. I tried finding Lisa, but her parents hid her too well. So I realized Kevin would only be safe with you. He handed the baby back to me and started slowly backing away. Please, take care of him. Stop! You're a better person than you think, Ten. I stood there in the middle of the street for a long time, staring at Kevin, but in the end, I was still just a kid myself. It wasn't fair that all this responsibility got dumped on me. Sorry, little guy, but I can't take care of you. Guess I turned into someone who abandons people too. Then I called the Child Protective Services and explained everything. Less than an hour later, 2 women in suits were standing in our living room. They promised they'd find Kevin a good family, but the second I handed him over, he started crying and reaching for me. It felt like something twisted painfully inside my chest. Sorry, buddy. This is for the best. The social workers carried Kevin toward the door, but suddenly Goldie burst into the house with some girl right behind her. That's my son! I stared at Goldie in complete shock. She explained that Lisa's parents had been at that charity event. Lisa burst in and demanded that they give her son back, but her parents just laughed and said they'd wanted to put Kevin up for adoption anyway. But then his father ran off with him, and honestly, they didn't care either way. So now it finally made sense why nobody had been looking for the kid. I overheard the whole thing and instantly realized what was going on. That's why I brought Lisa here. Of course, Kevin wasn't returned to Lisa right away. There were inspections, paperwork, endless meetings with social services. But in the end, Kevin finally went back to his mom. About a week later, Mom got discharged from the hospital. I'm sorry, Ten. The medication gives me horrible migraines sometimes, but I promise I won't skip my pills anymore. Sometimes Lisa would bring Kevin over to visit us. It actually helped Mom a lot. She almost seemed to light up around him. And honestly, I got attached to my nephew too, but nobody knew where my brother was. Then one day, I spotted Jaden secretly slipping money into our mailbox again. I told him Kevin was back with Lisa now, and he just let out this massive sigh of relief, like he'd been carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. And sorry for comparing you to Dad. You had every right to be angry, but I was scared of turning into Mom. Mom never abandoned us, even when she could barely handle everything herself. Now go back to your family. They need you. Maybe you're right. He really did go back to Lisa and Kevin, but for a long time, he was still scared to even hold his own son. School turned into a complete disaster after that. I got in trouble for missing so many classes, and then everyone found out about the baby too. Naturally, we failed our project. Then Goldie and I got dragged to the principal's office because I'd brought an actual baby to school and she'd helped me hide it. Still, all things considered, we got off pretty lightly. Sorry you got dragged into all this because of me. Relax, it's fine. Besides, you passed a pretty important test. You hated responsibility, but somehow you ended up being the most reliable person in this whole story. Wow, that was deep. So, did your parents change their minds about sending you to another country? Nope, but we've still got a whole year to get to know each other. So, what do you want to do first? Anything normal and actually teenage for once. I still think about everything that happened. Our dad left because he was tired. Jaden left because he was afraid of hurting his son. And I wanted to run away too, but I stayed. Do you think that's what growing up and responsibility actually mean?